talking about one of the best postural exercises I've ever seen. It comes from dynamic neuromuscular stabilization, or DNS. It's a developmental pattern that you had when you were about 4.5 months old, pretty much tummy time situation. So one thing I really like about this is it's also a good position to work on your breath. Again, for good breath, you want your rib cage and your pelvis aligned. The floor pretty much just forces you into that position without you having to think about it. So I always start folks out trying to get some good deep breaths down to their sacrum here. Legs can be however you want, comfortable. The idea is your lower body is pretty relaxed throughout this whole thing, and most of the work happens up here. So the alignment, a couple of cues for the alignment is you want your crease of your elbow lined up with your ear. You can put a little pillow or a little rolled up washcloth under your forehead if you're uncomfortable having your nose smashed into the ground. So again, Sandra will do a couple good breaths here. The next step is tucking your shoulder blades into your back pocket, and I'll usually help people just say, don't let me push your shoulder blades up. Good. See how she's activating her serratus. Her shoulder blades are starting to come back down where they belong rather than that slouch forward thing most people have. The next step is we want to create some space in her shoulder joint. It's easy when someone's helping you and they just rotate your shoulders back, but when you're doing this on your own, a good cue for that is just gently pushing the outside of your elbows down into the ground. What that does now is her arm bone is centered in the shoulder joint. That means all of these muscles are nice and relaxed. There's no tension. A lot of people are like, whoa, I didn't even know those muscles could be that squishy. The next step is think about lengthening your neck as you lift your head off the ground. Perfect. And then you relax back down. So some people will come up and have a crease in their neck. They'll lift their head so high. You don't want the crease in your neck. Again, spinal elongation is the name of the game here. Good. And then come back down and relax. I always have people just completely relax out at the end, because what we're training on this are the steps to good posture. So again, tuck your shoulder blades down into your back pocket. Open up your shoulder joint. Lengthen your neck. And lift your head. And then come back down. Relax everything out. Repeat the step again. There's no set number of reps, it's just so you're bored or tired. You can also add some rotation into the process. So go ahead, tuck down, open up, lift, and now you can turn your head to the right, left. Perfect. And then let your head come back down and relax. You're not just whipping your head back and forth. A lot of people will notice they have so much more range of motion in their neck because their shoulder's not in the way. When the shoulder's down where it wants to be, they've got better range of motion. So this is really the best postural exercise I've ever seen. It's super easy to do because you're supported by the ground. You don't have to think about much other than getting all of this where it wants to be. So some modifications and tips. If you feel like you're putting a lot of arch in your back, or feeling a lot of tension in your back, or even feeling things in your legs, you can put a bolster. These Eric pads work great, but most folks don't have those at home. So you can roll up a blanket and make sure your lower ribs are here and your pelvic bone is here. So I'll have Sandra go ahead and lie back down. This takes out some of the extra lordosis, or the curve in her spine. Again, we're back to ribs and pelvis lining up. And a key point of this is to keep your breath, keep that canister of stabilization. A lot of people will kind of forget about this while they're focusing here, but you want to keep that good stabilization throughout this exercise. Another common thing that we'll see is people, when they turn their head, is they'll just like whip it around and crank it up. Not ideal. You want to keep that neutral spine there, and you can do it by slightly tucking your chin in a little bit. That will help lengthen the back of your neck. Good. Again, if you're feeling tension in your legs, kind of shake them out. And if you're feeling tension in your legs, double check that you've got your core stabilization dialed in.